For busy players and don't have time to prepare chess, learn and crush your opponents with Stonewall attack. Whenever your center is closed, we will launch an attack on the king's side.
Hello friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel, and today we'll be dealing with Stonewall attack. So when I started my chess, I used to not have much time. I used to work and I used to teach for children. So in that time, I can say it's a lazy opening or not much theoretical opening. So I started with Stonewall and London system at the initial stage. Nowadays I play different opening because I have much more time to prepare and learn or improve the games and all. So for busy players and for the person who don't have time only, or they don't like theoretical lines to memorize and all, so this opening is perfect and suitable. So Jyoti, how do you start with the opening?
D4?
Yeah, D4. It's a queen pawn opening. Yeah, it surprises you. I'm a king pawn player, but still I would like to show you queen pawn opening because it's my old memories. Okay, but still it's very super solid. So D4. Black plays D5. Even I am also fighting for the center. Next what, Jyoti?
E3?
E3. It looks like we are placing the pawns on dark squares. So that means the light squares are very weak. Okay, so light squares should be controlled by the pieces. Okay, let's say opponent will play like knight f6.
Bishop to D3?
Bishop to D3, very good. You're controlling the dark light squares. And he's playing E6.
Knight B D2?
Yeah, knight B D2. Now the plan is very simple. If he plays like knight E4, we can simply capture the knight and win the pawn at least.
Correct.
So that's the reason we are controlling with the pieces. The E4 square is very weak because we are placing all the pawns on dark squares. So now opponents start playing like C5. So here whenever C5 comes, they want to kick your bishop from a very good diagonal. Okay. And when C4 comes, I don't like to place the bishop on E2 and all. So as Jyoti is telling, knight
C3.
C3 is very good. So that in case if you place like C4 or something, we have some escaping squares. Still we are aiming on the king side. Whenever the knight kicks away, and there'll be some mating threats and all here. Okay. So you should remember C5, C3. And also one more thing. If you place knight C6 also, instead of C5, if you place knight C6 also, you have to play C3. The reason is why knight C6 is coming. Again, they want to attack this bishop. So C3 is a multi-purpose move, I can say here. Okay, C5, C3. Okay, here knight C6 was played. Now what?
F4?
F4, very good. Okay, so here we're controlling the E5 square. Maybe in future we'll jump our knight F3 to E5. And if possible, we can guard that knight with the other knight. Okay, bishop E7.
Knight F3?
Knight F3, we are developing the piece. Let's say he castles.
Castle?
Yeah, one we can castle and another one is we can play knight E5 also. Castling also is good. So let's say he'll play like B6.
Knight to E5?
Yeah, knight to E5 is very good. Now we can see our knight is strongly sitting on the E5 square and bishop is aiming towards the king side. And we have some rook left like rook F3 to H3 followed by queen H5 and we can go for a mate whenever this knight is moved away from the square. Okay, how this knight will be kicked out? If he captures knight takes knight, then we can play pawn takes. If knight moves away, definitely we have the plans like bishop takes, queen comes and rook comes. So first of all, our pieces should be well placed in the right squares. Okay, so generally nobody plays like that according to my guess unless until they are very new to chess or what. Okay, bishop E7 now.
Rook to F3.
Rook to F3 is also very good move. And queen F3 is also nice. The plan is very simple. Like maybe we can play the queen on H3 and we are looking for a checkmate threat. Later the rook can be placed on F3 and maybe we can play on G3 or H3 and target on the king side. And also if knight is still here, we have other plans like what, Jyoti?
Pawn to G4.
Yeah, pawn to G4. What's the plan?
Attacking the knight on F6.
Yes, we can kick the knight by playing pawn to G5. Once the knight is kicked, maybe we can place the king and rook comes and all the pieces are going for a mating threat. Simple. So this opening is very easy to learn and there's no hard rules involved for this. So, yeah, this is one of the introduction. Okay, let me show one of the game played in the year 2019. So between two players, one is 2000 rated player, another one is 1700 player. So the game started as Jyoti has mentioned.
D4?
Yeah, D4. Let's say I'm playing like D5.
E6?
E3.
I'm sorry, E3.
Knight F6.
Bishop to d3.
Yes, very good. You remember the moves. And sometimes Jyoti ma'am also plays the Stonewall. Okay, e6.
Knight b d2.
Knight b2, you're controlling the light square. c5.
c3.
c3, very good. You remember the lines. Knight c6.
f4.
f4, yeah. So this is known as Stonewall, where you put all the pawns on dark squares. Okay. Let's say he'll play like bishop to d6.
Knight to f3.
Yeah, we'll develop the pieces. We're ready to castle. After castling, what we can do?
Knight to e5.
Knight to e5. Yes. So let's say he'll play like bishop d7. In case if he plays knight takes knight, what will happen?
Pawn takes knight is a fork.
Yes. Which pawn takes?
fx.
fx,
fx
e5,
e5.
and he's going to lose the material immediately. Okay. And if it takes with the bishop, simply we can capture.
fx e5.
And again, I can see some sort of threats on h7. Like we can bring all the pieces into the game and go for a check. Maybe knight can jump to f3 and g5 also.
Yeah.
There is a pressure. Okay. So after knight e5, what's the move opponent played? He started developing the bishop on d7.
Castling.
Castling, we look for castling. Very good. You finish your development. He is also trying to open the doors on c5. So he's placing the rook here. So you should anticipate opponent's move also, and you should understand why he's playing.
So white will play rook to f3.
Rook to f3. Why you're playing rook on f3? Why not queen on f3?
Making the rook lift.
Rook
Placing the rook on h3 and going for an attack.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Nice. So knight e7 was played.
Now rook h3.
Rook h3, yes, your target is very good. Like two are attacking. But you know something, even knight is guarding. Okay. And maybe we can play like g4, g5 if possible. Okay. But let's see what happened in the game. He played like c takes d4. He's trying to attack on the queen side and you're attacking on the king side.
King side.
Okay.
So bishop x h7 plus.
Well, you're not worried about this pawn.
No,
That's
not
nice.
at all.
You're going for checkmate threat, I will. So bishop takes, knight will take, no?
If knight takes, queen to h5.
Oh, now I got it. If bishop takes h7, king, knight takes means queen
Queen
h5. Now the knight cannot go to f6 because there's a mate in one. Okay, fine. So in this case, what he can do instead of playing knight f6?
Maybe rook to e8.
Yeah, rook e8 is the only move he can play so that at least he can give a breathing space whenever give a check and all. But you know, I don't see any of the pieces on the king side. All the pieces are on the queen side. They're sleeping across the board.
Yeah.
And king side, they're very less difference. So
Queen x.
how do you stop? Yeah, queen x f7 check. We are telling you are not going to escape. We are cornering to the edge of the board. Now what?
Queen to h5.
Queen to h5. There's a mate in one. If at all, if he plays bishop takes knight, we can finish the game.
Finished it.
Okay. So here he's forced to vacate the square for the king. Maybe if at all, if we give check, he can just move away. Okay. Now what?
Queen x h7 plus.
Yeah. Queen takes h7 check. The king moves away.
Queen h8.
Queen h8 hash. No, it's not a hash.
Queen h8. King. Okay. Knight to g8. Blocking the check.
Okay. Yeah. You found the move. Knight to g8.
Now maybe we can bring the rook on h7.
What is the plan?
Followed by queen x g7.
And it'll be a mate.
Mate.
Yeah, nice. That's our idea. So how to defend my g7 square? Let me plan. Hey, I can bring my queen on f6, I think. I can save the mate.
How about knight x d7 plus?
So you mean like I cannot I cannot save the mate, and in return I'm going to lose the bishop and the queen for knight.
Knight.
So then
Now
your
check,
game is
king
very
moves.
good,
Yeah.
and you have some advantage. That's nice. So how about me playing rook to e7?
Rook to e7, then knight to g6.
Knight to g6. I think it shouldn't be a problem. I can go to king to f7.
Queen x g7 plus.
Queen x g7 plus. Okay, king to e8. Now what?
Queen to f8 hash.
Oh my god, I didn't see this. That's nice. Okay, what if... Okay, king f7 is not possible. King f7 is not possible, of course. Check. And it'll go and it'll be a
F8
mate.
is a-
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So with these two plans, I think many of will be having an advantage in learning Stonewall attack and to crush their opponents.
True.
So all the best, guys. Try to apply this Stonewall attack in your games. Till then, see you guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care.
Yeah.